Hey guys, this is Pineapple, and today we're going to be talking about the Promised Neverland and Attack on Titan, but this video will feature spoilers for both series. This video specifically has spoilers for the end of this season of Promised Neverland, so please don't let that get spoiled for yourself and click off if you don't know what happens at the end of the season. You can follow me on Twitter at VocalPineapple to know when new uploads are coming, or you can follow me on Twitch, also at VocalPineapple, to watch me stream some fun games. With that said, I want to get into talking about how the Promised Neverland and Attack on Titan are very similar, but first,
I want to talk to you guys about My Hero Academia Amino, since the folks over at Amino are sponsoring this video. You may remember that I told you guys about how Amino is a great place to gather for all sorts of fandoms and communities, and the My Hero Academia Amino is a hotspot in the My Hero Academia community with tons of active members, and I'm actually going to be posting a poll on there for you guys to choose a video for me to get done a week after the poll ends. The options are between a My Hero Academia Vigilantes video, a Jump Force My Hero Academia mod video, a My Hero Academia theory video, or the third entry in the What If Luffy Had One for All series. Let me know what you guys think by going on Amino via the link in my description, signing up, and voting. With that said, let's get to the video after that intro. Hit it!
in Attack on Titan, the things going on in the outside world are so important that even though it means that everyone in humanity can die, that truth is still important enough to go for. In the Promised Neverland, the small chance that there is to live a life of truths outside of the Gracefield house is worth leaving a home where everyone is loved and cherished and cared for while living in a lie that keeps them happy. One of the main themes in both of these series is there's more to what there is here at home, and generally, even if people within our walls die or tragic things are happening, going out there is all the more worth it because it's a scenario that we're choosing, not one that's being chosen for us. I once ran a poll on Twitter and asked folks if they agree with me when I say that Attack on Titan and Promised Neverland are sort of the same thing to a certain degree. People really disagreed at the time, but this was before the anime had even been announced, and so it could really just be that people weren't very informed about Neverland. On the very surface level, one series is about kids being lied to and having to rebel against adults and demons alike, while the other is about the tragedy that befalls a nation when the Titans come knocking on their door. But those are sort of introductory and shallow descriptions of both series that sort of fizzle out as both plots continue. I think with a slightly deeper look, you can appreciate some key similarities between both series, and honestly, I like noticing things like this and talking about them, so excuse this video as it's pretty much just an attempt for me to do that in an open format for anyone that doesn't mind watching. You aren't gonna see Emma shift into a demon in Promised Neverland, and you won't watch a bunch of very young high-intellect children burning down their home in Attack on Titan, but let's talk about other similarities between both shows. Attack on Titan is a series where large beings called Titans invade the walls of a society, and these monsters basically shock society into coming together in their walled cities to gather their strength and attack in order to gain the freedom that they took for granted at the beginning of the series. Sure, before the Titans attack, there were expeditions to the outside world, but the people within the walls seem pretty satisfied with life within the walls, as the walls keep them safe from the Titans. They're so satisfied that when our main character Eren talks about wanting to see the ocean or wanting to take down every single Titan to be able to have freedom, everyone sees him as being childish. This brings up a big theme in early Attack on Titan, the complacency of society. Things are bad, but they could be worse, so let's maintain the status quo. It isn't until everything that could go wrong does go wrong that our characters rise up and take their freedom with their own hands. The entire society in the walls is being manipulated in this series, and none of them know about the true origin of their home, the Titans, or even of the outside world. Even their king and royal families have been placed there in order to keep up the lie. In the manga, we've been learning about the outside world and the backstory behind all of the events that have taken place in the series, and some of that has even started happening in the anime. This has only been possible because our characters decided to stop being complacent. They realized that they needed something more, and it wasn't enough to clear the space in the walls and just rebuild. Once humanity took up arms against the Titans and actually got a win on their hands, that was it. The walls could no longer suffice as a home for humanity. They had to spread as far as they could because that was their right. Well, is any of this mirrored in the Promised Neverland? Promised Neverland begins with our main characters stumbling upon something that they absolutely shouldn't have, a transaction between their caretaker and a pair of demons. You see, in Promised Neverland, demons run rampant in the outside world and humanity is in hiding. Our heroes in this story are young children between the ages of 5 and 12 that have all been raised in a walled-off plot of land in order to be extremely smart and capable. So we have a story where characters are living a life within the walls while malicious and dangerous creatures thrive on the outside. Each character is an orphan in the Gracefield house, and as much as they love each other, they're all aware that one day they will be adopted and they'll have to leave their home. As sad as this is still a cause for celebration amongst our characters until the dark truth comes out, and this sort of life isn't good enough anymore. Just like in Attack on Titan, once the characters realize the lie that has cast a shadow over their lives, they decide to strike back and escape. Their wills are even tested in a similar way to the characters in Attack on Titan to a certain degree. I mean, sure, living until you're 12 just to be eaten by demons is a terrible fate, but up until a child finds out about the truth moments before their death, they live an absolutely happy and fulfilling life as they're drowned in love and affection by their mother and their peers. This raises a question for some people. If everyone is happy, is it really okay to put everything on the line in order to change the status quo? Is it a partially selfish decision for Eren or Emma to want things to be different? I mean, there are differences in the situations that these two characters and societies face, for sure. In Attack on Titan, Eren's society is attacked by an outside force, and the sequence of events that take place after are a response to that attack. In the Promised Neverland, there's no attack on the Gracefield house specifically, but I mean, isn't there? Monsters manipulating the way that these children live and basically manufacturing their entire lives. I mean, I would say that Mother and anyone tied to the operation taking place in the Gracefield house are all basically passively attacking the children. So just to be neat and tidy, I want to revisit my point for this video and back it up with the information that we've gone over so far. Here we have two stories where characters live inside of a walled-off area where they don't know the truth about the outside world, and once the dangers of the creatures that inhabit that large world become apparent due to the inciting incidents in the story, our characters go on a large journey to take up arms and fight back in order to earn their freedom and create a world where no one has to go through the horrors that occurred at the beginning of the series. More than that, our characters find pushback from within as spies and grand conspiracies are exposed, and as their wills are tested, our characters have to question if life really is better within their walls. I'm not being very subtle with the fact that I'm trying to describe both series with a pretty generalized description there, but yeah, the Titans are the demons and the demons are the Titans. And there's honestly nothing wrong with the two stories taking notes from the same basic idea, because I'm sure that it's done to take advantage of people's want for more personal freedoms in the real world. So providing a story that allows us to root for characters that are taking their lives into their own hands and struggling against a cruel destiny is inspiring, because I'm sure most people can relate to having a struggle of some kind in their life, and that's why Attack on Titan and Promised Neverland are pretty great for similar reasons. The Promised Neverland is an anime that, like Attack on Titan, was expected to potentially be a major hitter when it first debuted. I've seen some really good reactions to the series and some mixed reactions as well, so it'll be interesting to see how The Promised Neverland stacks up to its narrative counterpart in Attack on Titan as that season starts in a short while. But to close the video out, I'll leave you with this thought. Eren in Season 1 of Attack on Titan has to basically burn down his home in that vision that he was having when he was trying to plug up the wall. He does this to take control of his Titan powers and ultimately give humanity a victory against the Titans for the first time. It isn't a massive victory. I mean, there's still troubles to face, but it's a victory that ended up giving humanity a foothold in the world that they wouldn't have otherwise had if Eren had just given up there and decided to live in the false world of happiness that was in his head at the time. How fitting is it that in The Promised Neverland, our characters have to face very much the same thing under very similar circumstances. Our characters live in a world that in and of itself is a lie. They're fed happiness and falsehoods, and if they remained ignorant to all of that, if they decided to just live in the world of the lie like Eren could have, they would have a short life but a rather happy one. Instead, our characters decide to make the same exact decision that Eren did in that vision with the same results. They decide to burn away everything that they knew and everything that was comfortable to them to get away from the Gracefield house. Just like Eren burns down his home in the world of lies inside of his Titan form to give humanity a chance at taking back the world from the Titans, Emma decides to burn down the Gracefield house of lies to give the children and ultimately the future of humanity a chance at taking back the world from the demons, and all they both had to do was sacrifice a comforting but false safe haven. It's definitely a beautiful parallel, and no matter how you feel about the rest of Neverland or Attack on Titan's manga, at the very least I hope you can enjoy the silver thread that binds these two works of fiction together. In many ways, Emma is like Eren, Ray is like Mikasa, and Norman is like Armin. And I'm excited to see how the characters in Promised Neverland will continue to grow in Season 2, as well as how the characters in Attack on Titan are about to change in a big way in the anime as well. Did you enjoy this video? Let me know by sliding a comment my way, or just by smashing that like button. I really enjoyed making this video, and it's something that I've wanted to do for a really long time, so hopefully you took something away from it, but if not, I'll be back with some more dope content soon. Shout out to Amino for sponsoring this video and my League of Notifications. This is Pineapple. Peace.